you ever wondered why, after everything people did to break you, you are still standing? They lied about you, betrayed you, rejected you, and secretly hoped your pain would destroy your faith. But somehow, every attack only made you stronger. Every setback pushed you closer to Allah. And now the same people who once doubted you are watching your life with regret, because they cannot understand how you keep surviving storms that should have crushed you. What they do not realize is this: when Allah chooses someone for a purpose, there is a protection over their life that no human being can stop. Even the darkness sent against you becomes powerless before Allah's plan. In today's video, we will uncover 6 powerful lessons about why chosen ones are protected in shocking ways, and why your survival is proof that Allah is not finished with your story yet. There were moments in your life when the pain became so heavy that you felt like you were slowly breaking inside. You smiled in front of people while silently fighting battles nobody could see. Some nights you cried alone, asking yourself how much more your heart could take. People thought the betrayal, rejection, and loneliness would eventually destroy you. They believed the darkness around you would finally enter your soul and change who you were forever. But somehow, no matter how close you came to giving up, Allah always pulled you back before you completely drowned. Yes, you were wounded. Yes, you became exhausted. But Allah did not allow your pain to turn your heart completely bitter or cold. That is why your survival frustrates some people today. After everything you faced, there is still light inside you. You still have faith. You still have kindness. You still continue moving forward. The enemy wanted your suffering to destroy your spirit, but Allah used those painful seasons to make you wiser, stronger, and closer to Him. Just like Allah protected Prophet Yusuf in the way, Prophet Musa in the river, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, through every attack against him, Allah has also been protecting you in ways you cannot fully see yet. What should have destroyed you became the very thing that transformed you, and that is why some people are secretly disturbed by your survival. Because your life is proof that Allah's protection is real. There are people who deeply regret how they treated you, because they never expected Allah to keep raising you after everything you went through. They thought the rejection, disrespect, betrayal, and pain would break your spirit completely. Some of them laughed at your struggles, ignored your value, and believed you would remain stuck in darkness forever. But now they are watching you slowly heal, grow, and become stronger, and it confuses them. They expected your story to end in failure, yet Allah kept opening doors for you, protecting your heart, and giving you strength to keep moving forward. What hurts them most was to realize too late that your kindness was never weakness, and silence was never emptiness. Allah was building you quietly while they were busy judging you. Now, your peace, your survival, and your growth have become a reminder that Allah never abandoned you, and deep inside they regret ever underestimating someone whose life was being guided by Allah. The enemy does not fear the people who never struggle, never cry, or never fall into weakness, because even the strongest believers go through painful seasons in life. What truly frightens the devil is a person who keeps returning to Allah no matter how many times life tries to break them. And that is exactly why your survival is so powerful. There were moments when you felt emotionally exhausted, mentally drained, and spiritually empty. There were nights when your heart felt so heavy that even smiling became difficult. Sometimes you questioned yourself, sometimes you lost motivation, and sometimes you felt like giving up completely. The enemy wanted those painful moments to pull you away from Allah forever. He wanted your suffering to make you hopeless, your betrayal to make you bitter, and your loneliness to make you feel abandoned. But every single time you started falling too far into darkness, something inside your soul pulled you back toward Allah again. Maybe it was a prayer in the middle of the night, maybe it was hearing a reminder at the perfect moment, Maybe it was a quiet feeling in your heart that refused to die. But somehow Allah kept reviving your spirit again and again. That is what makes chosen ones dangerous to the enemy. Pain does not permanently destroy them. It pushes them closer to Allah. The devil thought your hardships would disconnect you from your purpose, but instead your pain increased your dependence on Allah. Your tears taught you sincerity. Your loneliness taught you trust. Your struggles taught you patience. Every battle that was supposed to weaken your faith actually deepened it. And this is why some people cannot understand you now. They saw how broken you became, so they expected you to completely lose yourself. Yet Allah kept rebuilding you every time life knocked you down. The chosen ones are not people who never struggle. They are people who refuse to stay disconnected from Allah, even after failure, heartbreak, disappointment, and pain. Every time you return to Allah, the darkness loses power over your life, and that is why the enemy fears a believer who keeps getting back up no matter how many times they fall. One of the most painful parts of being chosen is feeling unseen, while everyone else around you seems to move ahead in life. There are seasons where you feel forgotten, ignored, and hidden from the world, and sometimes it even makes you question your worth. You wonder why people overlook you, why your efforts go unnoticed, and why your life feels delayed while others receive attention so easily. But what you do not realize is that Allah often hides His chosen servants before He publicly raises them, because hidden seasons are usually preparation seasons. Allah protects certain people through isolation before bringing them into elevation. Look at the life of Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him. Before Allah raised him to a position of honor and leadership, he was first betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a well, sold away from his family, and later locked inside a prison for years, even though he was innocent. To people around him, it looked like his life was finished, but Allah was secretly preparing him for a greater purpose. The prison was not the end of his story. It was preparation for leadership. Look at Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. Before he became the man who would stand against Pharaoh, he spent years away from people living quietly in the desert. Allah was shaping his strength, patience, and character in isolation before giving him his mission. Even Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, spent long periods alone in the cave of Hira before revelation came to him. Allah separated him from the noise of society before entrusting him with a message that would change the world forever. And the same thing may be happening in your life right now. Your hidden season is not proof that Allah abandoned you. It may be proof that Allah is preparing you privately before elevating you publicly. Some people could not have handled access to you during this stage of your journey. Some relationships had to be removed because they would have distracted or damaged your purpose. While people ignored you, Allah was strengthening your soul, deepening your wisdom, healing your heart, and building your character in ways nobody else could see. The world often celebrates people too early, but Allah develops His chosen ones slowly and deeply. That is why you must never confuse being hidden with being forgotten, because sometimes Allah hides His most valuable servants until the right time arrives for the world to witness what He placed inside them. There are some people who were never supposed to survive what you survived. There are some pains that permanently destroy people from the inside. There are wounds that make hearts become cold, angry, bitter, and spiritually empty forever. But somehow, even after everything life threw at you, you are still standing today. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not without scars, maybe not without tears. But you are still here, still breathing, still trying, still fighting, and still turning back to Allah, no matter how many times the darkness tried to swallow you. And that is exactly why the enemy fears you now, because the pain that was supposed to destroy you became the very thing that transformed you into someone stronger, wiser, deeper, and more spiritually awake than before. There was a time when you trusted people easily, but betrayal taught you discernment. There was a time when you depended too much on people, but abandonment taught you dependence on Allah. There was a time when you searched for validation from others, but rejection forced you to discover your worth through your relationship with Allah, instead of through the opinions of human beings. Every painful season changed something inside you. The heartbreak changed your heart. The loneliness changed your mind. The disappointments changed your priorities. The suffering changed your soul. And while people thought you were falling apart, Allah was secretly rebuilding you into someone completely different. Sometimes Allah allows chosen people to walk through deep pain because certain levels of wisdom, patience, emotional strength, and spiritual maturity can only be created through hardship. Easy lives rarely produce deep souls. People who never suffer often remain spiritually asleep because comfort can make people forget their dependence on Allah. But pain has a way of waking the soul up. Pain forces people to think deeply. Pain exposes fake relationships. Pain reveals hidden truths. Pain humbles the heart. Pain reminds human beings that this dunya was never meant to be perfect. And this is why many chosen ones go through seasons that feel unbearably heavy, because Allah is preparing them for a purpose that requires inner strength most people never develop. Look at the life of Prophet Ayub, peace be upon him. He lost his health, his wealth, and many things he loved, yet he refused to turn away from Allah. His suffering lasted for years, but his patience became one of the greatest examples in history. The enemy wanted pain to destroy his faith, but instead his patience brought him even closer to Allah. Look at Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him. Betrayed by his own brothers, abandoned in a well, sold away from his family, falsely accused, and imprisoned even while innocent. Most people would have become filled with hatred after experiencing so much injustice. But Allah used every painful chapter in Yusuf's life to shape him into a man of wisdom, patience, mercy, and leadership. Even after everything he suffered, he still forgave the people who hurt him. That kind of spiritual strength can only come from a heart that Allah personally purified through hardship. Look at Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He lost his parents early in life, buried his children, faced rejection from his own people, was mocked, insulted, attacked, and emotionally wounded in ways most people cannot fully imagine. There were moments where the pain became so heavy that even the Prophet, peace be upon him, felt deep sadness, yet he never stopped trusting Allah, and because of that patience, Allah raised his name higher than any other human being in history. The pain did not destroy the prophets, it prepared them, and the same pattern exists in your own life. Some of the things you cried about years ago are now the very things that made you emotionally stronger. Some of the nights that nearly broke you became the nights that built your relationship with Allah. Some of the people who walked away from you actually pushed you closer to your purpose without realizing it. At the time, you thought certain losses were punishments, but later you realized Allah was protecting you from people, places, and situations that would have damaged your soul even more. That is the strange thing about Allah's protection. Sometimes it comes through closed doors. Sometimes it comes through heartbreak. Sometimes it comes through isolation. Sometimes Allah removes people from your life not to hurt you, but to save you from becoming attached to things that would eventually destroy your peace. But while you were inside those painful seasons, you could not see the full picture yet. You only saw the tears, the confusion, the loneliness, and the emotional exhaustion. You did not realize Allah was creating strength inside you through every painful experience. And now people look at you differently because suffering changed your presence. There is a depth in your eyes now that was not there before. There is wisdom in your silence. There is maturity in the way you handle pain. You understand broken people because you know what it feels like to silently carry heavy burdens inside your chest. You understand loneliness because you lived through seasons where nobody truly understood your pain except Allah. You understand emotional battles because you fought wars inside your own mind and survived them. That is why your presence affects people now. Some people feel peace around you without understanding why. Others feel uncomfortable around you because your survival reminds them of truths they try to avoid. Your pain gave you spiritual weight. Your suffering gave your words depth. Your wounds created compassion inside your heart. And this is exactly what terrifies the enemy the most. The devil wanted your pain to permanently destroy your spirit, but Allah transformed your pain into wisdom, strength, patience, discernment, and spiritual awareness. The enemy attacked you, hoping you would become completely hopeless, but instead your hardships made your connection with Allah deeper than before. Every time life knocked you down, Allah gave you enough strength to stand back up again, and now your survival itself has become a testimony of Allah's mercy. This is why some people are secretly disturbed when they look at your life. They know what you went through. They know how badly you were hurt. They know the betrayal, rejection, humiliation, and emotional pain you carried. Yet somehow you are still standing. Somehow your heart still remembers Allah. Somehow you still continue moving forward. Deep inside, your survival confuses them because they expected the darkness to consume you completely. But Allah did not allow your story to end there. Allah kept protecting a light inside you, even during your darkest moments, and maybe that is what you need to understand today. The pain was never meaningless. Allah saw every tear you cried silently. He saw every night you felt emotionally exhausted. He saw every moment you felt abandoned by people. He saw the battles you never spoke about. And while you thought you were only surviving pain, Allah was actually building a stronger version of you through that pain. The chosen ones are often shaped in hidden battles that nobody else fully understands. Their strength is not created in comfort. It is created in tears, patience, isolation, heartbreak, and dependence on Allah. And one day you will realize that the very battles that nearly destroyed you were also the same battles that prepared you for the purpose Allah wrote for your life long before you were even born. There are moments in your life that cannot be explained by logic alone, moments where you should have completely fallen apart, yet somehow you survived. Moments where danger came close to you, but never fully reached you. Moments where certain people tried to destroy your peace, damage your reputation, break your confidence, or pull you away from your purpose. But in the end, their plans failed while you continued moving forward. Sometimes you even look back at your own life and quietly ask yourself, how did I survive all of that? Because deep inside you know there were seasons where the pain became almost unbearable. There were nights when your chest felt heavy from stress and emotional exhaustion. There were moments when you felt betrayed by people you trusted the most. Moments when loneliness wrapped around your heart so deeply that you thought nobody truly understood your pain except Allah. There were times when fear entered your mind and tried to convince you that your future was finished. The enemy wanted you to believe that you were abandoned, forgotten, weak, and broken beyond repair. But despite all of that darkness, Allah continued protecting your life in ways you still do not fully understand. That protection was not always obvious. Sometimes Allah protected you by removing certain people from your life, even when you begged for them to stay. Sometimes He protected you through delays that frustrated you. Sometimes He protected you through heartbreak that later saved you from even greater destruction. Sometimes Allah closed doors because behind those doors was pain your soul was never meant to carry. But while you were inside those painful moments, you could not see the wisdom yet. You only saw disappointment, confusion, and emotional pain. Later, with time, you began realizing that some of the things you cried over were actually Allah saving you. Some relationships had to end because they were slowly destroying your peace. Some opportunities had to fail because success in those paths would have taken you far away from your real purpose. Some delays were actually divine protection, because Allah knew you were not ready yet. This is why chosen ones often experience seasons where life feels confusing. Allah is protecting them from things they cannot yet understand. Look at the life of Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him. People mocked him for years while he built the ark. They laughed at him, insulted him, and treated him like he was foolish because they could not see what Allah was preparing. But the very ark they mocked became the protection that saved the believers when the flood came. Look at Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. His enemies threw him into a massive fire, believing it would destroy him completely. But Allah commanded the fire itself to become cool and safe for him. The same thing meant to kill him became harmless, because Allah's protection was greater than the plans of people. Look at Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. Pharaoh wanted to kill every baby boy because he feared the rise of someone who would challenge his power. But Allah protected Musa, peace be upon him, in the most impossible way imaginable. The child Pharaoh feared the most was raised inside Pharaoh's own palace under Allah's protection. Look at Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The enemies of Islam tried repeatedly to silence him, attack him, humiliate him, and destroy the message he carried. But every plan against him only caused Islam to spread further. During the migration to Medina, when enemies came searching for him inside the cave, Allah protected him through something as simple as a spider web and birds near the entrance, making the enemy believe nobody could possibly be hiding there. These stories are not just history lessons. They are reminders that when Allah decides to protect someone for a purpose, no force on earth can stop what He has written. And the same reality may exist in your own life right now. There are battles you survived that should have destroyed you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or even physically. There are situations where Allah protected you without you even realizing it at the time. Maybe there were people secretly jealous of you whose intentions could have harmed your peace, but Allah removed them before they gained deeper access to your life. Maybe there were moments when your plans suddenly failed and you felt devastated, but later you realized those failures saved you from years of regret and pain. Maybe there were nights when you felt completely hopeless, yet somehow your heart still found enough strength to pray one more time and continue moving forward. That strength was not coming from you alone. Allah was carrying you through those dark seasons even when you felt emotionally exhausted. This is why the enemy becomes frustrated when looking at chosen people. The darkness keeps attacking them, yet somehow they continue surviving. The enemy expected your heartbreak to permanently destroy your faith, but your pain brought you closer to Allah. The enemy expected your betrayal to make you completely bitter, but Allah still kept softness inside your heart. The enemy expected your loneliness to make you lose hope, but instead your isolation deepened your relationship with Allah. Every attack was supposed to weaken you, but Allah kept turning those attacks into lessons, wisdom, growth, and spiritual strength. And this is something many people around you secretly cannot understand. They know how much you suffered. They know the battles you faced. They know the pressure you carried silently. Yet, somehow, you are still standing. Somehow your soul still carries light. Somehow you still continue trying to become better instead of completely giving up. Deep inside, your survival disturbs certain people because your life reminds them that Allah's protection is real. There are people who expected to see you destroyed by now. Some expected depression to consume you. Some expected failure to define your story forever. Some expected your pain to pull you far away from Allah. But Allah did not allow the darkness to fully consume you because your story is not finished yet. The chosen ones often walk through storms that other people never fully understand. Sometimes Allah allows them to experience deep pain because He is preparing them for a mission that requires spiritual depth, wisdom, patience, and strength. But through every storm, Allah continues protecting something inside them. Maybe your heart became wounded, but Allah protected your faith. Maybe your plans collapsed, but Allah protected your future. Maybe people walked away from you, but Allah protected your soul from becoming attached to the wrong things forever. That is why you must stop viewing every painful season as proof that Allah abandoned you. Sometimes the greatest protection comes disguised as loss, delay, heartbreak, isolation, or disappointment. Human beings only see the pain of the moment, but Allah sees the future consequences of everything. Allah knows which doors would destroy you if they opened too early. He knows which people would poison your peace if they remained in your life. He knows which paths would pull you away from your real purpose. Because His knowledge is perfect, while ours is limited, sometimes His protection feels painful in the beginning. But later, when the fog clears and time passes, you begin understanding why certain things had to happen exactly the way they did. You begin realizing that Allah was saving you even while you were crying. He was guiding you even while you felt lost. He was protecting you even while you felt abandoned. And maybe that is what you need to remember today. You are still here for a reason. After all the battles, heartbreaks, disappointments, betrayals, and emotional storms, you are still breathing, still surviving, still searching for Allah, still trying to heal, and still moving forward. That is not an accident. Allah does not preserve empty lives without purpose. If Allah kept carrying you through darkness that should have destroyed you, then there is still something written for your future that the enemy could not stop. That survival itself, protection over your life, is greater than every force that ever came against you. And one day you will fully understand that every painful chapter you survived was not proof that Allah abandoned you, but proof that He was quietly guiding, shaping, protecting, and preparing you the entire time. So if you have been wondering why you survived battles that should have destroyed you, why your heart still carries faith after so much pain, or why you keep rising no matter how many times life knocks you down, understand this clearly. Allah's protection over your life has always been greater than the darkness against you. The enemy tried to break your spirit through betrayal, loneliness, fear, rejection, and emotional pain, but every attack only pushed you closer to their purpose. Allah wrote for you long before you were born. There were moments when you thought you were losing everything, but in reality, Allah was removing what could not go with you into your next season. There were nights when you felt abandoned, but Allah was still watching over every tear you cried silently. Just like protected Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, in the well, Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, in the river, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, in the fire, and Prophet Muhammad, peace through every attack against him, Allah has also been protecting you in ways you still cannot fully see. Your survival is not luck. Your strength is not accidental. Your story is not meaningless. Allah kept you alive through battles that should have destroyed you, because your purpose is not finished yet. And maybe that is what disturbs some people the most. No matter how much darkness came against you, Allah never allowed it to fully consume you.